Hi Spark Youth, my name's Mike Snowden. I'm a missionary with CMS, the Church Missionary Society, working in Spain, in Valencia, trying to help teenagers to get to know Jesus. And I hear you guys are keen to be praying for us and be engaging with what God is doing amongst teenagers here in Spain that might be in the same situation as you are in Australia. So here's a little update on what we've been doing. We've been here for about 7 years now. And basically what I do is I work with lots of different churches, both in Valencia, which is the city I live, and then across the country to try and help teenagers who usually come from church backgrounds, who are often Christians, trying to help them to share Jesus in their schools. The idea is I'd love to see a group of teenagers meeting together to read the Bible in every school in Spain. And that's kind of like an impossible vision, or at least that's the way that people would see it here in the churches. So we've got a pretty big task ahead of us, and part of that is trying to help teenagers to keep trusting in Jesus, to see him afresh, that all things are made both through him and for him. And so I want to encourage you guys to keep getting to know Jesus as the first thing. If you want to partner with what teenagers are doing here, what we're doing here, keep getting to know Jesus and see what his vision is for this world. So you can be praying that, but you pray both for Australia, for Sydney, and for Spain, that teenagers everywhere will come to recognize Jesus as Lord and King. One of the other things you can be praying for is particularly for the teenagers during this current season where we've had the coronavirus hit the world. We've been in various stages of lockdown. We had a 9-week full quarantine where the kids weren't even allowed to leave the house, and we don't even have a balcony. So they basically didn't see the sun for quite a while. And we've now gone through a kind of de-escalation plan, and it's a kind of back to what would be normal, though you still have to wear face masks everywhere, but at the same time, totally not. And you know what that's like. The world feels different now. They're in their summer holidays now until September. That school was cancelled back in March until the end of the school year. So they'll be starting the new school year in September again, God willing. And that's going to be really hard. So please pray that they'd be able to form connections and experience good relationships with other teenagers from other schools and things, but also just from their churches. And that people like me and their leaders in their church will be able to still get alongside them well. For me and my family personally, we're doing okay, but it's been a bit of a struggle too. So we're just trying to go through with the strength that God gives us, and we trust him to do the work rather than ourselves, because we know we're weak. But how good is it knowing that Jesus is in control of all things? I've said enough, and I'm really excited that you want to keep praying for Spain, for Spanish youth, for us. So great to be connecting with you guys. See you.